Parlez-vous français? Or 한국말 해요? Do you have a language tucked into the back of your mind that you learned as a child? Well, for the most part, parents who have another language try to pass it on to their children. But some worry that this may be confusing at an early age. So we went to find out what the experts, parents, and researchers have to say about the gift of a second language.
On arrive à l'école? Qu'est-ce que tu vas faire aujourd'hui? Hein? Tu vas être gentil pour Mariama?
I primarily speak to her in French. Every once in a while, we'll sneak in the English word or sentence.
Krista Dickinson Camp and her husband Peter enrolled their daughter Sophie in a French immersion daycare.
Peter speaks to her uniquely in English, and we've been told by, professors and people in general, the best approach with raising a child as a bilingual child is to have one parent stick to one language and the other parent stick to the other one. So that's what we're doing.
Tu veux voir Mariama? Bonjour.
Bonjour, Sophie.
Ça va bien?
Oui, ça va bien.
Ouais.
A lot of people do say that, learning two languages at once for a child is confusing. I think that chances are, as far as speaking full sentences, it might take a little longer because she is processing two languages, but she seems to communicate so much.
La main en haut, Sophie. Bravo, t'écoutes bien.
I don't think a child can be overstimulated, actually. The more stimulation, the better, and languages are included.
Dr. Ellen Bialystok of York University has been researching the impact of learning a second language on preschool children.
In the last few years, we've been looking at how children develop very special cognitive abilities that control how you pay attention to information and how you can use that information to solve problems.
Why don't you tell me which one has more families living in it? That one? How many blocks are in it? Can you count?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
These are very, very important abilities, and they develop very slowly. We've been looking at the difference between monolingual and bilingual children, sort of 4 to 5 years old, as they develop these very difficult executive abilities. And we find that bilingual children develop skill in these abilities about a year earlier than monolingual children. And the reason is because their whole lives, they've been using those executive abilities to manage two languages.
Sophie interacts and communicates by pointing, by saying words, and I don't think there's anything she doesn't understand, and that's what Peter and I are always astonished about, When we try saying no to her and no, she'll just go like this, no, and she'll choose to either, listen to it or not, but she clearly understands everything.
Tu vas jouer avec Sophie?
No.
No, Sophie?
Krista says French comprehension is creating opportunities for Sophie's future.
For me, French really opened up so many doors. It helped me get into a great university because I had that edge on other children. Also, it allowed me to have some wonderful jobs, just being bilingual. I really think that is something that Sophie will be able to take advantage of as she grows up, is to be able to put that on her resume.
Idil Issa is graduating from high school with a long list of awards and scholarships, thanks to her proficiency in French.
Bonjour, madame.
Bonjour.
Ça va?
Ça va très bien et toi?
Très bien, merci.
Ok.
Que désirez-vous aujourd'hui?
Une tartelette aux fraises. I was involved in French since kindergarten. My mom put me in French so that I would learn the languages, the official languages of Canada. As a refugee from Somalia, it was important for us to establish ourselves as Canadians and learn the culture, learn the languages. It's going to help me a lot, I know that. In terms of jobs, it's already helped me. Putting that on my resume has helped me for small jobs. Just being able to speak with that whole French world makes me that much more viable in a job market in the future.
That may not have been the first motivation for Alex to begin learning Mandarin, but it's what keeps him going.
Well, I was 4, and most of my friends were Chinese, and they always spoke, and I didn't understand what they were saying, and I wanted to, so started learning Chinese with them.
How do you say that? How do you say thank you?
Cantonese is more the traditional language, and although I learned it for a while, I kind of was more interested in the more modern language, and it was also a lot easier to learn. Like, I picked it up really fast, so I just switched to Mandarin. They take work, but like when I'm older, I want to do international commerce, so it'll be helpful for that.
I like to eat. Okay, I like. Say it after me. 我喜欢吃.
Alex says his tutor Mary gives him the tools that will benefit his business goals in the future.
I've been going to her for like 4 years, I think, and she's had an impact on my Chinese as well as my life in general. She only teaches me what I need to know or what I want to know. It's not like teaching me words that I'll never use, like in some books.
What is this again?
Dr. Bialystok's research shows that for children to become truly bilingual, they should learn a second language in the home.
Sauter.
Oui. Pourquoi?
Because it's dirty.
Yeah.
But French teacher Doug Lewis says that kids who start later can excel.
There are different levels of French in the classroom. If the student has parents or family that speak the language at home, they do have an additional advantage. But the student who really wants to work hard at it and is interested in it, it's amazing how much they can overcome that lack of possibly living in a household where that language is not spoken.